Hey everybody, welcome back from spring break. And this week's topic is algorithms, so please follow along with the slides. First though, please note that there's a special news assignment this week. Do not do your regular news. Do the special news assignment. I'm giving you two articles to look at that I mentioned in last week's coverage that are classic pieces of commentary about the internet from the 90s. I want to see what you think about them. So I'd like to see a good discussion going. I will be following along and jumping in. I'm really curious about your thoughts. So please do that instead of the news for this week. Okay, this week, algorithms. This is probably the single biggest issue in digital ethics today, and one that as a user and as somebody in the industry, if you are, you're going to be facing, guaranteed. So the issue is the replacement of human decision-making by computer decision-making. And at first glance, that sounds more fair, more just, more equitable. Computers don't get tired and cranky. They're not racist. They're not biased. And if you leave a decision to a well-trained decision-making system, it should make better decisions. That's the idea. Practice doesn't work out that way. And here's why. To train an algorithm to make good decisions, you have to train it on a data set that already exists. So So the classic case of this is British National Health Service decided that what they were seeing was that there was racial bias in hiring new doctors, that various national health centers were tending to prefer white people. So they said, okay, we're going to turn this over to a computer. And what we're going to do is we're going to show the computer the resumes of the most successful doctors over the past 30 years, and just use those criteria. Just use the criteria that make for the best doctors. And, race isn't going to be one of those. Turns out that the algorithm was making more racist decisions. Why? Well, if only white doctors were getting hired, the most successful doctors were going to be, you got it, white doctors. So it was just propagating the problem. Another example of that is there's a real estate app called Zillow. A lot of people use when they're shopping for houses. And you enter in, your demographic information and all that, and it shows you houses that people like you have bought recently. And people like you is supposed to mean your price range, how old your kids are, so you're near good schools, that sort of thing. It also means race. So what was happening was black people who were using it were only seeing houses in black neighborhoods, and were getting shut out of even seeing that there were houses in white neighborhoods available that they could afford. Why? Because it was trained on historical data and is trained on people like you. So it's really easy to code in bias, racial, gender, you name it, into algorithms that are trained on historical data that's got a history of bias. So please look at all the readings for the week. There's a bunch of short videos and a couple short articles rather than the chapters or academic stuff, because this is a really current field. And in your weekly commentary, I'm really interested in what you think, but please work through carefully the chains of logic that are going on in the things you see. Because it's really easy to go, technology is going to fix all this. But in practice, as all these people are saying, people who've got tremendous amount of industry experience, who aren't, professors like me who are just commenting, but people who've been in industry and developed apps and worked at the highest levels of digital finance, they're spotting this problem. So I'm very curious as to your opinions. Slides are fairly straightforward for the week. They're basically just definitional, and we jump right into the issues from the reading. So I'm really looking forward to what you're saying this week. Don't forget to start doing research on your term papers, because the deadline for your outline and annotated bibliography is coming up fast. Please feel free to contact me, come in my office hours, meet with me, whatever you need to get going on your term papers. And thanks a lot, and talk to you next week.